Hey guys, welcome to today's class. Have fun.
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's class. So today we'll be concluding on our topic which we started with last week, which is development of major political parties in Nigeria. Last week we talked about the formation of major political parties in Nigeria. We also talked about what are the categories or what are the factors we look at when we tag a political party to be major. We also talked about the Clifford Constitution that gave us the right to form political parties, the right to vote, and the right to be voted for. We went down to 1960 or 1959 election, which brought in the 1960 independence of Nigeria and the civilian government of Tafawa Balewa and Nnamdi Azikiwe. And then we also talked about the 1966 when the military junta took over the civilian government, which led to the end of civilian rule in Nigeria. So today we'll focus from 1979 when we had the civilian government of Shehu Shagari. But before we go further, we are going to cover the years 1979 to 2019, which is really going to be a very long years and numbers of political parties to talk about. So I'll try to break it down for you so that it's going to be easy and quite, very easy to understand. And then before we'll talk about the various political parties that form the civilian governments between the years 1979 to 2019, which was when the last general election was held in Nigeria. So to break this down, it will be very pertinent for you to know the years of elections in Nigeria. We all know that elections are held every 4 years for the office of the president, the senators, the House of Rep, the governors, and the National Assembly and the state assemblies. So you should know that in the next 4 years after from 2019, so in 2023, we're going to have another election. So let's go back to history. Since independence, let's break down the Nigerian political system. By the time we break this down, you'll be able to know who is who or who had what during so period. And by the time you know this, it will also help you to understand or to remember the political parties and where they fall. So we'll start from 1960 because that is when Nigeria had their independence. So 1960 to 1966 was a democratic civilian government of Tafawa Balewa and Nnamdi Azikiwe. Tafawa Balewa was the prime minister. Nnamdi Azikiwe was the president. That's a parliamentary system of government. Now, 1966 to 1979, we had military regime of Aguirre and Yakubu Gowon. So this is not a democratic government. This is a military government. So there was no active political parties. So the military took over. But 1979 to 1983, we had democracy again. Civilian government, civilian presidents, governors, senators, House of Rep members. We had this between the years 1979 and 1983. And Shehu Shagari and Alex Ekweme were the presidents and vice presidents, respectively. 1983 to 1989, we had another military regime. So that was the end of the Shehu Shagari, Alex Ekweme civilian government, which we all know is the second Republican government in Nigeria. So 1983 to 1989, we had military regime of Muhammadu Buhari and Babangida Gbadamosi Ibrahim. So they took over the government respectively. And 1983 to 1989 to 1993, we also had it's a restricted democratic practice, is what you can call it, because we had political parties, elections were conducted, but it was annulled. And Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida made himself military president during this period. So we had two political parties at the time, but all elections held were annulled. So, in as much as elections were held, but the winners did not partake in the government. So the military remained in power. 1993 to 1998, we had a military regime again, Sani Abacha. This same time, political parties were formed, but they all aligned to make um, Sani Abacha a dictator president. So we will not, in terms of civilian system, we are not going to count it as a democratic practice or anything, whether restricted or unrestricted. So we see it as a military regime. Then between 1998 and 1999, we had a transitional government of Abdusalim Abubakar, which prepared Nigeria to a civilian government presidency. So between 1998 and 1999, we see it as a transitional government in which a military government was in power in the person of Abdusalim Abubakar, but he handed over power to a civilian government, just like Obasanjo did in 1979, handing over power to a civilian government in the person of Shehu Shagari. So 1999 to the present year, to 2020, we have a civilian government, also called the Fourth Republic. So 1999 to 2003, Olusegun Obasanjo was the civilian president of Nigeria. His tenure came to an end in 2007. Yar'Adua took over. Yar'Adua Goodluck Jonathan took over, and by 2015, Goodluck Jonathan lost the presidential. By 2011, rather, sorry, Goodluck Jonathan lost the presidential election to Muhammadu Buhari. So, as I was saying, 2015, rather, don't mind me, Goodluck Jonathan lost the presidential election to Muhammadu Buhari, and by 2019, Buhari won the election again and retained his position as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So now you see this is kind of a breakdown of politics, the political system of Nigeria since 1960 to 2019. So this will help you to categorize political formations of foundations of political parties or development of political parties in Nigeria. And then let's look at the years we've had elections. So when we look at the years we've had elections in Nigeria, which will also help you in building your knowledge about politics in Nigeria, about political parties in Nigeria, their formations, how they won, the governments, how they ruled, or the number of seats they won, either in the House of Assembly, in the state as a House of Assembly, or in the National Assembly, or the presidency, or the gubernatorial elections. So we had the election in 1959, we had the election in 1979, we had the election in 1983. I'm calling the presidential election right now. We had the election in 1993, we had the election in 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, and 2019. Same goes to the senatorial elections and House of Assembly, with the National Assembly and State House of Assembly. So in the 1979 election, there was 95 seats available in the Senate, and then 449 seats in the House of Rep. We had 5 major political parties during this 1979 federal or general election, as the case may be. These 5 major parties were the Greater Nigerian People's Party, the Nigerian People's Party, National Party of Nigeria, People's Redemption Party, and Unity Party of Nigeria. So these were the 5 major political parties during the 1979 general election. So we are going to take it one after the other. The Greater Nigerian People's Party, GNPP, formed in 1978 by Waziri. So during the election, it won 8 seats 8 seats in the Senate. It also, which was majorly from the northeastern part of the country. Then it won 43 seats in the House of Reps, and then one gubernatorial seat during the election. Then also have the Nigerian People's Party (NPP), formed in 1978 as well. It had Nnamdi Azikiwe as its presidential candidate. It won 3 gubernatorial seats, 78 seats in the House of Reps, and 16 seats in the Senate. Then we had the National Party of Nigeria (NPN), formed on the 20th of September 1978. The party won the 1979 and 1983 presidential election with Shehu Shagari and Alex Ekweme, the flag bearers of the party. So during the 1979 election, the NPN won 168 seats in House of Reps and 36 seats in the Senate. It also won 9 gubernatorial states during the election. Pardon me, excuse me. Also, People's Redemption Party (PRP), formed on the 27th of September 1978 by Aminu Kano. The party won 7 seats in the Senate and 49 seats in the House of Reps. It also won 1 gubernatorial state. Unity Party of Nigeria (UPN). It was formed in 1978 by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, leader of the party. He was also the leader of the party. It won 28 seats in the Senate and 111 seats in the House of Reps. It also won 5 gubernatorial seats, majorly in the southwest region of the country. So after the 1979 election and the victory of Shehu Shagari, by 1983 there was little or no change in the political party structure of Nigeria, except with the addition of NAPA of Tunji Bright-White. All political parties of 1979 remained in 1983, but with the involvement of the military, it disrupted civilian political activities in the country. So between 1983 to 1998, we've had long stay of military government, in as much as in 1992-1993, IBP, the person of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, tried to bring back civilian rule, which was annulled and failed, and then led to the military coup that brought in the person of Sani Abacha. So you see that political activities in Nigeria has been transitional since 1999. Parties have formed more of coalition to create a bigger hegemony or to win more seats in government or dethrone a ruling party. So you see that from 1999, the creation of parties, of major parties, were in collaborations with minor parties. So we had more of minor parties coming together to form a bigger party. The PDP was formed that way. The APC we have today was formed that way. So majority of the parties we had during this period of 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, we are all amalgamation of minor parties across Nigeria, because one of the requirements of INEC was parties needed to win at least in 24 states of the 36 states in Nigeria. So if you don't meet this requirement, then definitely you will not be registered as a political party in the country. Before we go further, I would like to touch one or two things which are quite important to really understand the topic of today. One is republic, and two is political party. Because when we understand these two, or when we give a good definition of these two topics, we'll be able to grasp our understanding of what the first, second, third, fourth Republic of Nigeria is all about, and the political parties as well. So, what is political party? There are various definitions of political party, but we'll kind of take the simple definition of it. Political party, you can say, is, organized group of people, associations coming together, sharing an ideology with the sole aim of taking power constitutionally to rule a state or a country. So, for you to be in a political party settings, you have sole aim of contesting an election to win and to rule, and then to execute that your party ideology, positively to impact in the lives of the citizens or the electorate, as the case may be. Then republic. What makes a country a republic is when the supreme power of a state, is being elected by the people. So when people elect who represent them or choose who should represent them through an election, you see this country is republic, unlike monarch, which is hereditary. So in republic, you have elections to change government or to retain a government in a specific society or a specific state. So to be republic, you need to elect who to govern the state. So in a republican system of government, you have your representatives elected, while in a monarchical system, definitely we have the king and the queen, which is in most cases hereditary, like the Queen of England, the King of Saudi, and all that. So this system gives the people the opportunity to choose who should, rule them or have power of the government to make laws and maintain laws and execute laws. So in most cases, political parties, give out their manifesto. I say, if you vote for me, these are the things I'm going to do for you within a space of time. And if it pleases the people, they elect or they vote for who is their preferred candidate or political party, as the case may be. So 1960 to 1966 was the first republic, when the Nigerian citizens voted or elected who to represent them in government. And that first republic came to an end in 1966, when the military took over government. And we don't count the military government as a republican government because we never elected them. They took power with guns, barrels of guns and all that. So it's always a military decree which they use in governing the people. So there is no constitution. It's just military decrees that they use to control the populace. So they use force, which is not civil. When the military handed over power through Obasanjo in 1979, we had the Second Republic, because since the independence of Nigeria, that's the second time Nigerians will elect those who represent them in government. So we had the First Republic, we had our first elected representatives. We had the Second Republic, that is 1979, when Nigerians elected their representatives as well. So 1983, there was an election and the military took over. So we don't really count that as a third republic. But we also count 1992, 1993 as a third republic, because the election was held, result was announced, or result was presumably announced, and MK Abiola was, supposedly the winner of the election, or generally agreed as the winner of the election. So because we've had this election, formation of political parties, though it was two political parties, but there's an existence of parties in this contest, and an election was held and counted. So we count it as an abortive third republic because it never came into existence. So the right of the people were denied by the military. So the 1992-1993 election, or supposedly Third Republic, is always known as the abortive Third Republic, basically because it never came into existence and the winners were not allowed to rule or take over political power from the military. And so this long period of military rule, gave breaks to civilian or Republican governments. But since 1999, we got into the Fourth Republic, and we've been in the Fourth Republic because we don't hope and we don't pray for the military to come into power again. So we've had the Republican government of Olusegun Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, and currently Muhammadu Buhari. So we're not going to focus on the 1992-1993 election, but we will talk about that during when we be discussing about military rule in Nigeria, because that will help us to focus more on the activities that happened during this period. So we are gonna, since we've talked about 1979, we are now going to jump over to 1998, 1999, because that is another set of active Republican governments in Nigeria. So because it's going to give us good idea, or a better idea of our topic for today, which is the development of major political parties in Nigeria. And if you remember at the beginning of the class, I told you about how party politics in Nigeria is transitional, very, very transitional, in the sense that we don't have a fixed, like a single party since independence. No, parties kept on changing as the military came in. Okay, since the end of military rule in 1999, we've had changes of political parties coming together to form a bigger political party to create a bigger hegemony in the country and to also maintain their status quo with INEC. Because if they stand on their own, they might not be able to reach the requirements to be a political party or to be registered as a political party by INEC. So definitely these parties all come together to form a bigger political party. But since 1998, we've had various political parties in Nigeria. But like I always tell you, we're going to focus on the major political parties in the country. Since 1999, we've had various political parties, just like I said. But the PDP has been in the picture without change in name, acronym, or nomenclature, or structure. They've been the political party we've known since 1998. The APC, the current APC we have today, came about in 2013. All this we're going to talk about. So you know how these transitions, these changes, these introductions, affects the electorates and party politics in Nigeria. So we'll start off with the 1999 party politics formations in Nigeria. So if you remember when I talked about the 1998-1999 transitional government of Abdul Salim Abubakar, this gave decree for political parties to be formed in Nigeria, and for this reason, many political parties came together to be able to take governments in May 29, 1999, when the military government will hand over to an elected president or representatives, as the case may be. So we had various political parties clamoring for recognition and registration, but the INEC gave provisional registration to about 9 political parties, and inside these 9 political parties, only 3 were allowed to contest the 1999 election. So as soon as this provisional registration was given to 9 political parties at the time by INEC, we'll see that at the end of the 1998 local government election, only 3 political parties were registered by INEC. But the 9 that was given provisional registration to contest the 1998 local government council elections, We had the All People's Party, People's Democratic Party, Democratic Advance Movement, DAM, Movement for Democracy and Justice, United People's Party, Alliance for Democracy, AD, and the National Solidarity Movement. These were the parties that got provisional registration. But at the end, and the requirement to be registered, to be fully registered to contest the governorship, local governorship, Senate, House of Rep, and presidential elections, were that you need to win at least 10% of votes in 24 local government in 24 states out of the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, which was later reduced to 5%. So at the end of the 1998 local government election, local government council election, the All People's Party, the People's Democratic Party, and the Alliance for Democracy got the registration to contest the 1999 election. So our focus now will be on the three major parties that were recognized and registered by INEC, which is the All People's Party, APP, the People's Democratic Party, and the Alliance for Democracy. So we are going to start off now with the Alliance for Democracy. What are we going to be looking at? We will talk about the party formations. We'll talk about the party's electoral achievements, and also talk about its transition from the period of 1998 till at the current state of affairs in the party. But it was a major party between the years 1998 to 2003. A major party in the sense that it won a good number of seats in the National Assembly, and also it controlled the southwest region of Nigeria, because basically this is where most of its organizations that formed the party came from. So the Alliance for Democracy, which is the party we are talking about right now, was formed on the 8th of September 1998. It was formed by a group of a number of southern pressure groups like the Afenifere, the Eastern Mandates Union, People's Consultative Forum, National Democratic Alliance, Southern Leaders Forum. So these are the parties or the organizations that came together to form the Alliance for Democracy on the 8th of September 1998. Well, I'll now focus on the two major organizations, that balanced the party, or that run the activities of the party, as the case may be: the People's Consultative Forum and United Democratic Congress. These were the biggest organization in the party. The AD, as the acronym stands for, Alliance for Democracy, dominated the southwest region between 1999 and 2003 elections. Like I mentioned, the party believed in restructuring Nigeria. They believed that the police and the army should be restructured, and autonomy or more power given to states governors or state governments. It also believed that the revenue allocation should be based on derivation. So these were the major components of what the party actually stood for. So in the 1999 election, it won 20 seats in the Senate and 68 seats in the House of Reps. The party also won 6 gubernatorial seats or states, only in the southwest region, in the 2003 elections. It won 34 out of 360 seats in the House of Reps and 6 out of 109 seats in the Senate and one gubernatorial state. In the 2003 presidential election, it formed alliance with ANPP. The AD was a party formed by, mostly the southwest organizations, like I mentioned before. So basically, their focus of winning the governorship election was basically in the southwest, and they won 6 states during this time of the election. Then we'll be moving further to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Um, so we can also remember that Abacha, when he was alive, for before his death, he wanted to make himself, the president of the country by forcing or using military force, military power to make the political parties formed during this period to, pick him as their sole candidate for the presidency, thereby making him, the president of the country, just like him continuing his reign or his rule as a military dictator. So during this period, there were those who fought against his rule, who really wanted to return the country to civilian rule. So they are formerly the G8, later the G34. So this group of individuals were the people that came together to form the party known as PDP on the 19th of September 1998. So but not just the effort of these people, there are different organizations or political ambitious organizations that came together to form this party known as PDP. There are about 30 different associations or organizations that form the party PDP. We had the All Nigerian Congress, ACN, People's Consultative Forum, PCF, Social Political Party, SPP, People's Democratic Movement, PDM. We had the People's National Forum, PNF. So these parties came under the chairmanship of Chief Solomon La, who was the PDP's first chairman. So they formed the parties. They formed the party PDP, rather. And then, so let's talk about the elections or the involvements during the election. After they won about 400 local government council election in 1998, they got their registration to be a political party from INEC. So during the 1999 elections, the PDP won 59 out of the 109 seats in the Senate. They also won 206 out of 360 seats available in the House of Reps. They also won, the presidential election in 1999, 2003, 2007, and 2011. So for 4 straight election years, they won the presidential elections. That's approximately 16 years they were in power as the ruling party. In 2003, it won 76 seats in the Senate and 223 seats in the House of Reps. In 2007, it won 87 seats in the Senate and 263 seats in the House of Reps. In 2011, it won 45 seats in the Senate and 203 seats in the House of Reps. In 2015, PDP won 140 seats in the House of Reps and 49 seats in the Senate. 2019 election, which was the last concluded election in Nigeria, it won 115 seats in the House of Reps and 45 seats in the Senate. It won 45 seats in the Senate. So you can see with time, the number of seats or representation the PDP had in the National Assembly kept on reducing. We can, as time goes on, I will show you how this transition led to the dethronement of the PDP, whereby we had the All Progressive Congress. But before we talk about the Progressive Congress (APC), which was formed in 2013, so it's quite a recent political party, we'll talk about the All People's Party (APP), which was a major party during the 1998-1999 election, 2003 election. And it also interests you to know that um, Muhammadu Buhari, who is the current president of Nigeria, also ran under the party APP during the 2007-2011 elections. So we'll talk about basically now the All People's Party before we round up with APC. Why I picked these parties is because of their state level influence and federal influence, nationwide influence. So they've gone beyond regional party like we had in, during the time of NCNC and AG and NPN. So the parties we have since 1998 has been more of a nationwide party because this was the requirement of INEC. So All People's Party even came in coalition with AD to challenge PDP during the presidential election. We'll talk about that as well. So the APP, was formed in 1998, but by the election of 2003, it became known as All Nigeria's People's Party. The APP during the 1999 election had Olu Falaye of AD as its presidential flag bearer and Omaro Shinkafi as, his running mate. In the 1999 election, the APP, All People's Party, won 29 seats in the Senate and 74 seats in the House of Reps. But by the election of 2003, the APP became known as ANPP. See, this is the reason why I told you of this transition. So parties keep changing its name, to fit into the requirement of INEC. So by the 2003 election, the party ran as ANPP and had Muhammadu Buhari as its presidential candidate, Chuba as its running mate, Chuba Kadibu as his running mate. So the ANPP had Buhari as its presidential candidate in 2003 election, 2007 election, and 2011 election, which he lost before winning the 2015 election under APC, which we are going to talk about as well. So in the 2003 election, it won 27 seats in the Senate and 96 seats in House of Reps. 2007 election, it won 14 seats in the Senate and 63 seats in the House of Reps. While in the 2011 elections, it won 7 seats in the Senate and 25 seats in the House of Reps. So you can see that this was the last straw that broke what we call the camel's back, and the ANPP or the APP became a defunct party and ceased to exist as a political party in Nigeria. So we are going to talk about our final political party, APC, which is the ruling party we have now in Nigeria that won the 2015 and 2019 presidential election under the auspices of President Muhammadu Buhari and his vice, Osibanjo. So the All Progressive Congress, its acronym is APC, was founded on 6th of February 2013 by the following parties. So it was not just a single person forming the political party like we had during the um, pre-independence Nigeria, like during the NCNC and AG, which Awolowo, is the founder and leader of the party. So this time of the APC, we had various political parties coming together, just like PDP, various political parties coming together to form a stronger party that can contest and challenge the hegemony of the PDP. So these political parties all came together to become a super party. We had the All Nigeria People's Party (ANPP), which I told you before, got dissolved by 2013. So it was one of the parties that formed the APC. So we had the All Nigerian People's Party (ANPP). We had the Action Congress of Nigeria (ACN). We had the Congress of Progressive Change (CPC). The founders were Tom Ikimi of ACN, Senator Annie Okonkwo of APGA, Ibrahim Shakura of ANPP, and Garba Shehu of CPC. So these four major people came together to form the party we know as APC. The party was approved by ANEC on the 31st of July 2013. So that's just 2 years, roughly 2 years before the 2015 general election. And funny enough, to spice up what we're talking about, the founders of this party, APC, left the party before the 2015 election to join the PDP political party. So you see how it works. So let's go on with our class. The party got approved by INEC on the 31st of July 2013. The APC won the presidential election of 2015 and 2019, like I told you earlier on. In the 2015 elections, the party won 212 seats out of 360 seats available in the House of Reps and won 60 seats out of 109 seats available in the Senate. In the 2019 election, which was just the last concluded election in Nigeria, it won 217 seats in the House of Reps and 64 seats in the in the Senate. In the gubernatorial election in 2015, it won 26 seats, and in 2019, it won 20 seats. So thank you very much. This is the end of our class for today. So next week, we most probably be talking about military rule in Nigeria. So get ready for that. Thank you very much.
I hope the class was interesting. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section or send us an email. We will love to help you further. See you in the next class.